Hi muckers, welcome back to my YouTube channel. I hope you're all doing very well. So, I need to finish something I said I was going to finish. So, Legal Bites has been doing this like 3-part series talking about everything that's been going on. And I promised that I was going to do all 3 parts, and I didn't. I only got part 1 and part 2. And people were letting me know. They were like, you haven't done it. You haven't done it. So I'm going to do it. So first of all, shout out to Legal Bites. The first 2 videos have been really good, and we watched them, and basically it was intense. And people are sorry reminding me before I forget. I'm vlogging every day on my second channel. If you want to go over there, it'll be pinned down below. Possibly see you over there. But Legal Bites has been doing a great take on this because of the reason that she has so much legal opinions and legal stats. Hey, haven't seen you in a while. 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 Where you been? Where have you been? Look, Milo. It's a hot water bottle. You've never seen one of these before. Feel it. Feel it. It's a hot water bottle. It'll keep you warm. It'll keep you warm. Look. Feel it. Don't be scared, but I'm going to push it over. Oh, or just be scared. Oh, and he jumped off the bed. Hey, not on the carpet. Hey, 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 hey. Hey. Not on the carpet. I want my security deposit back. Bastard. Anyway. So yeah, the legal advice that Legal Bites gives alongside breaking down the topic is really great, and will directly reference parts of the legal system, which is really great. So this one is about the childhood cancer alleged charity fraud. So let's get to this one. So this is part 3. We have done part 1 and part 2 already, but let's get into it. Shout out Legal Bites. Hope you're doing well.
In the first 2 videos in the series, we went through some potential legal issues.
The doggy in the background. Oh my god, the fact that the doggy got a little name badge. That's so cute.
For Colleen Ballinger. Mistakes that she appears to have made that could very well cost her. In part 1, we talked about some potential civil liability claims by minors for her explicit communications that she had with them while they were underage. We also talked about some potential civil claims related to her onstage conduct with minors during her live shows. Then in part 2, we talked about some of the other allegations that have come out over the years having to do with her practices surrounding the payment of...
God, it looks so ugly in this video.
And how damning her own words have been in responding to that particular controversy.
I've hired my fans to design merch, I've hired fans to go on tour with me, I've hired fans to edit things for me, and how hiring my employees works is I usually do a little test run to see how it goes. If it goes well, then I hire them officially through my company and they are paid legally through the corporation. It was no different for him. I wanted to do a little test run. If it went
paid
well,
legally through the corporation.
So I gave him access to my account and he started tweeting stuff for me.
In this video, we are going to turn to the questions that have come up related to potential charity fraud. Let's get into it.
Ooh. Oh, I thought there was going to be a beat drop.
So Colleen Ballinger...
Well, that was camp. Well, that was camp and unexpected.
Currently does an annual charity drive for a couple different charities, apparently primarily to benefit kids with cancer. Charity drives, fundraisers, campaigns are, of course...
Look something up. Okay. Something very interesting here. Just want to check something, and so on Colleen Ballinger's Fundly campaigns. Say she was to do a fundraiser this year, right? 2023. Say I click on this one. Donate now. Oh shit! I've just donated to the 2019 fundraiser. But oh wait, she's still accepting donations on all of them. So who's to say that she isn't closing them and is still accepting money on old fundraisers? You can close them down. You can close them down. This was last year's page. Please go to 2022. But look at this. You can close them because this one says support. So she's closed the 2018 one, but not the 2019, not the 2020, not the 2021, not the 2022, which means that people could accidentally donate to 2020. And, oh, she gets to keep the money because you were supposed to donate to 2023. But also, she's not telling you when she's donating the money. Now, for record, we know that Colleen Ballinger is donating money to cancer every single year for these fundraisers, and a big chunk of money. The problem is she's not disclosing how much, where it's specifically going, how much it's going, when the dates are, which is interesting and weird because she's not telling when she donates the money. So, for example, the 2022 one, who's to say that she didn't donate all of the money donated the day after the fundraiser ended? And then she gained, a couple $1,000 after that. But then that didn't get donated because, the timeline already ended. But you can still donate, or who's to say that she didn't donate it? She still hasn't donated it. You know what I mean? Like, she could be donating it next week. Because she's not disclosing when she's donating it, it allows her to be able to take home the most amount of money, whether it's for cancer or whether it's to profit, to go in and out of her bank account to help with taxes. Again, she could be donating it, but the fact we know for a fact the money goes into her account, whether it's her business or personal one, Colleen Ballinger is benefiting off of the fact that she is getting people to donate to cancer. Colleen Ballinger that's her priority. That's why she's doing it through these sites, because the money goes into her account in some fashion, because it has to before it goes somewhere else. So the money goes in, goes out. There are benefits when that happens for people who make a lot of money. And the fact that she still has the donation pages open from the last 1, 2, 3, 4 years, it's interesting. So, I don't know why we're now almost a year, because she was getting called out for this before her fundraiser last year, so much so that she even addressed it. Can't believe we're a year into people asking her to show receipts of the exact amount of money on the exact dates, and she's refusing to do that. Why? I don't know. But I would love for her to show the donations from like the 2015 year, the 2016 year, 2017 year, 18, 19, 20, like show it all. Show it all. Show it all. Because we're talking about high stakes money here. Show it all. We know that she is donating money every year, but she's not disclosing how much, when, where, and why is the money going into her bank account in some form before. Why is she not denounced this in some way? Why didn't it even get a line in the song? I'm very curious.
On their own a good thing. That goes without saying. I myself have participated in and helped to organize charity drives before, and I think that they're just generally a good thing to have. But when not done transparently, charity drives can quickly turn from a wholesome event into an outright scandal. To be clear, this is not exactly a civil liability issue. This is something that would fall under the umbrella of the IRS or perhaps the Department of Justice, because we're mostly talking about how this relates to tax filings. So the issue here is not in the existence of these charity drives, but rather in the way that Colleen has chosen to go about it over the years. Each time she does a drive, she apparently gathers up money from her viewers and says the purpose is to benefit kids with cancer, and by all appearances, she does donate the money. But questions have arisen for several reasons. First, she apparently insists on collecting the funds herself, even though the charities she ends up donating the money to have established ways of setting up a donation campaign directly on.
So why does she do that? Because for Colleen Ballinger, while she may present to you that she cares about the kids with cancer, this is benefiting her. And her money. And her tax. Probably. Yeah. So, why is she not donating through these places she's donating to on using the methods that they use so that this can be an easy handover? Why is she deciding to have the money go into her account first? Like,
on their websites. One of these is CHLA, the Children's Hospital of Los Angeles, and I can say from personal experience that I know this is a very effective way for running a donation campaign. Around a year ago, on the heels of the Deputy Heard trial, Rick Hogue of the channel Hogue Law, he and I got together to organize and manage a campaign for CHLA through a charity live stream. And being lawyers, we talked extensively ahead of time about how particular we wanted to be in setting this thing up and managing it. This is because anytime you are handling any amount of other people's money, it is just too easy to make a mistake and end up getting into big trouble if you're not careful. And I'm not just talking about trouble in terms of public relations, I'm talking about legal trouble. And so what we decided was that the easiest, most secure way to go about it was just to establish a special campaign directly on CHLA's website. This way, we get to direct people over there. We have zero fingerprints on anyone else's money. People get their own individual receipt for the donation emailed directly to them, and they can take a tax benefit for themselves if they so choose. Smooth as butter. All that was left.
and that's how easy it is. That's how easy it is. So why is Colleen Ballinger choosing to complicate the process? Full stop. Why is she choosing to complicate the process? Doesn't make much sense, doesn't it?
For me to do as a person hosting this live stream was to turn off monetization, super chats, and super thanks for the duration of the live stream. And what I decided was for 24 hours afterwards, just to make sure that there was zero confusion as to where people should direct their money if they wanted to participate in the campaign. So having the experience of taking these extensive methods myself, I can understand why there are quite a few people out there that are concerned about the seeming lack of transparency with Colleen's fundraising methods. Here are two potential issues that arise as a result. And actually, I'm so sorry to interrupt here, but I have to...
Pardon, I hear it and I know. Pardon, I know you want to take me home.
This video sponsor. This video is sponsored by MD.
I thought she was going to say this video is sponsored by MDMA. I was like, what kind of video is this? That was so shocking.
Result. First, she might not be donating the entirety of the money that she actually gathers. Others commenting on the issue have noted that her name does appear as a major donor to these organizations on their websites, so she definitely does seem to be donating some amount. But there doesn't seem to be some public verification that the amount that she donated equals the actual amount that she collected. Some have also commented on the fact that her charity drives from past years are still active, which means that people can still donate to them, which leaves open the possibility that people could be depositing money into an account managed by Colleen.
Which all of the money then goes into her account. Like the money all goes into her account. That is such a good thing. So all the things which is Colleen Ballinger donates, between 100,000 and 500,000 every year is great. It's all well and good. But if we think about it, okay, so in 2019, $150,000 was donated, right? And then she says that she like doubles it or something, right? 160,000, apparently she doubles it or something, right? 266, and then apparently she doubles it, right? Or adds to it or whatever. 87,000, then apparently she doubles it or whatever. But that's such a broad, like, is it 100 on the dot? Or is it 500? Or is she donating millions? Like, why isn't she being honest with anything? And being honest is literally just showing a receipt. We're talking about people donating to kids with cancer here. And as Corey so eloquently put it, you call up the parents that are watching their kids die. Whenever people were like, can we see the receipts?
Is no longer actively sending over to charities herself. In which case, of course, the question comes up, what is actually happening to that money that is getting deposited there? If it is the case that money that is being donated through those campaigns on that website are being used for other purposes, this could be charity fraud. You see, when someone hands over money to you, it doesn't mean that you can just...
There's also something to note on the fact that, and I don't see enough people talking about this, Colleen Ballinger's incentive for getting people to donate to kids with cancer is that she gives away prizes. She will do live streams where she'll give away things from Starbucks gift cards that are already used to Miranda props that, you know, belong in the trash. Or if you're lucky, probably a pair of sexy lingerie or something like that, right? She then will send all of that to the people that donated, who won the giveaways, right? And the giveaways is she basically just chooses her favorite people on Twitter. The problem with that is the money that gets donated for the childhood cancer goes into Colleen's account, okay? Colleen then uses her money to pay the packaging of sending so many prizes all around the world, which means that the donation money is being used to send prizes all around the world because her money is the giveaway money. It's all going into that bank account from what we know because she isn't choosing to clarify it. So she is using the money for her own things. And the fact that she is not being transparent and saying, yes, that is happening, or no, that is happening, I don't know why. I'm going to be honest. Don't know why we're just not telling what is happening. Like, shut this down, you know what I mean? Shut this one down. This is not something you would want people speculating that you're committing charity fraud, especially with kids with cancer. Just shut this down.
Automatically do whatever you want with it. If you are handling someone else's money because you are collecting funds for charity, or you're acting as a trustee of a trust, or you're working as an executive for a company that is owned by multiple people, you are not acting for yourself. You are acting as a fiduciary. With that comes certain responsibilities. And so if you announce to the public that you are collecting funds to donate to charity...
Oh, sorry. She said fiduciary, and it was a funny word, and it made me giggle, and I couldn't see the screen. Or I didn't see that I didn't change the screen. Sorry.
For charity, or you're acting when someone hands over money to you, it doesn't mean that you can just automatically do whatever you want with it. If you are handling someone else's money because you are collecting,
you're part of a fiduciary,
or you're acting as a trustee of a trust, or you're working as an executive for a company that is owned by multiple people, you are not acting for yourself. You are acting as a fiduciary. With that comes certain responsibilities. And so if you announce to the public that you are collecting funds to donate to charity, but you end up keeping a portion of it or using it in some other way, you can get into some real trouble. As an example, there is a case out of San Diego where a couple set up a 501c3 nonprofit organization.
But isn't it kind of confirmed then that even at a bare minimum, if she doesn't use the money from that fundraiser to pay for packaging of, you know, the giveaway prizes, who's to say that money gets donated to the 2019 fundraiser? That doesn't go into her account and then that pays for the giveaway prizes to be sent around the world. So the money is being used in a wrongful way?
And through that organization, they solicited donations of clothing and other goods from a bunch of businesses, saying that the donations were going to go to people who were down on their luck to help them get back up on their feet. The organization was literally called On Your Feet, Inc. The problem is this couple actually ended up taking millions of dollars worth of clothing and other goods that they received from Forever 21, Disney, and other companies, and instead of actually providing these to the needy, they ended up reselling them and keeping the profits. And then they also lied on their tax returns as to what their income was so that they could cover it all up. As a result, this particular couple landed in prison and they had to pay the IRS tens of thousands of dollars in taxes owed. Now, it should be noted that there is a difference between making a mistake on your tax returns and actually lying. And where that line is obviously depends on the factual circumstances that we're talking about. But my point is, these kinds of things can have some serious repercussions, particularly if the person seems to know what they're doing. So how does that relate here? First of all, I want to remind everyone that it could be that there's nothing there. Without access to Colleen's and her business's tax documents and accounting documents, there's no way of knowing whether she's actually done anything wrong here. But is there a possibility?
But it's like, why isn't she coming out and denouncing it? I can speak for all of us where it's like, we want this to not be anything shady. Just come out with the truth. Please shut it down.
That the accounting doesn't line up? Well, yeah, you don't know that until you can verify by actually looking at the records. But even if Colleen did in fact pay the full amount to these charities, there's still another possible way that the way that she set things up could rise to some shady implications and potentially not fully legal. By funneling all of these charity funds to herself first before actually donating them to the organizations, it does leave open the door for Colleen to at the very least have the opportunity to use some creative tax reporting. Basically, think of it this way, as if there are two different buckets of money. If Colleen gets her pre-taxed money through ad revenue, sponsorships, etc. as a normal business income, that goes in one bucket. For this hypothetical, let's say that she brings in an income of $1 million in a year. Then if she personally gathers money for charity, that has to go in another bucket. Let's say that in that same year, she ends up collecting $100,000 for charity. Now, you're not supposed to mix those two buckets because some of that money is yours and some of that money is not yours. But I could see a situation where someone pretends that the charity bucket is a bucket of gifts that people have made to that person. If it is considered.
And for someone to say that it's a bucket of gifts on a money, every year for my birthday, fuck, that's crazy, right?
Considered a gift, it would not necessarily be taxed as income. Definitely put an asterisk on that because when it comes to taxes, that is probably the area of law that has the most "it depends" disclaimers than any other area of law. But generally speaking, people have this possibility where they have income that is taxed and gifts that are not taxed. So let's say someone has a charity bucket and they decide to pretend that it's not a charity bucket, it is a gift bucket that people have given to them personally. This person could reach into that income bucket and could actually end up donating an amount that is equal to what they received in that charity bucket, which they are calling a gift bucket. Then this person could hypothetically absorb that charity bucket, which they're calling a gift bucket, into their pocket. Although the number would be the same as if this person decided to just treat that charity bucket as a charity bucket and not mix them and just donate all of that on behalf of...
Just take a moment to look at the screen real quick. And you know what? Because she's refusing to come out and address this, and it has been a year of people calling her out, it's allowing people to speculate this. She deserves for people to speculate it. Just take a moment to look at the screen here.
All of the other people. The origin of the funds used for the donation can make a very big difference in the amount of taxes that this person actually ends up paying. So basically, this donation could hypothetically be used to lower this person's overall taxes that they have to pay. But the problem with it is, again, the charity bucket isn't her bucket. It's money that belongs to other people that this person has gathered as a fiduciary for the sole purpose of being donated to kids with cancer. That charity bucket is supposed to remain completely separate from the income bucket, and at no point are they supposed to mix together. If she's doing that, she's not donating her own money, she's donating other people's money and pretending it's her money. And I will say, looking at the 2022 CHLA Honor Roll of Donors, I want to point something out. You can see that Colleen Ballinger is personally named.
Oh my God, Autism Speaks being the one above her. Not Autism Speaks.
Donor for the range of $100,000 to $499,999. I'm actually on the same roster as a result of the campaign that Rick Hogue and I organized last year. I only say this because I want to point out an important detail. My name shows up in the range of $1,000 to $4,999. That's because although Rick and I organized a campaign that ended up bringing in around $150,000 to CHLA, the amount that I personally donated was $3,500. So the roster uses my legal name, not my nickname, not Legal Bites. This tells me that the names on this roster reflect the official personal donations or donations officially on behalf of specific organizations. In other words, it doesn't reflect the campaigns that they were involved in or even organized. It's what they personally themselves donated. It reflects the names under which these donations were officially made as it's documented for tax purposes. So the fact that Colleen Ballinger is personally named in this much higher range indicates one of two things. Either she actually did personally donate this amount of money in addition to collecting all of the funds that she did for the fundraising campaign, or she ended up just gathering all of that money, claiming it as her own, and then donating it to CHLA under her own name, and then claiming the tax benefit for herself after claiming all of that was a gift to her.
Oof. Oof. Oh, she just fucking read her down.
Yikes. And if it's reflected on her tax returns that she's claiming the charity funds as gifts to her and then donating from her own pre-tax income to get a tax benefit for herself, tax returns are signed under penalty of perjury. If you knowingly lie on those documents, you can have the IRS knocking on your door in the same way that San Diego couple did. So although, like I said, I don't have personal access to any of her financial documents, any of her accounting or tax documents, there is enough information here to give me pause on this issue. But what do you think? Now that we've reached the end of this series, do you think that...
Let's talk about this. Let's talk, shall we? The fact that it's been a year of Colleen being called out. I'll actually do that right now. Colleen's company is Miranda Sings LLC. So for the donation to be under Colleen Ballinger means that this is being written as a personal tax donation. We can only assume because Colleen's company is Miranda Sings LLC. But the donation is under the name Colleen Ballinger, her personal name. Which means, from what we can just assume, the donation is coming from her personal account. Which means that this has to go down on her tax. Which means that then she's getting benefits from it. Which then means that this is so many tax benefits for her. And the fact that she last year sat down and did a childhood cancer fundraiser while getting called out for allegedly not telling the truth about this fundraiser, and she made jokes about people saying, oh, well, you sit down and raise the money. So for a year, she has known that she could clear her name on this, but she hasn't. I don't know about you, but I wouldn't want the internet to think that I was money laundering or committing tax fraud or abusing tax benefits or tax treaties or stealing money from kids with cancer or using them as a way to minimize my tax. I would never want the internet to think those things about me, and I would shut that down. But she's already done a fundraiser since those people have been calling her out. Has Colleen Ballinger committed fraud, charity fraud? We do not know. Is there enough information out there that can allude to the fact that she is? Maybe. Is there a reason that she hasn't came out in a year of backlash and addressed it? Possibly. So what we can only assume until she speaks is that she's possibly committing tax or charity fraud for the sake of personal benefits. And for us to stop assuming that, she needs to come out and tell the other side. She needs to come out and tell the other side. Because there's too much going against her that she needs to show us why we would believe her. And the fact that we've been asking for a year leads me to believe that she doesn't want to say anything. So until she comes out and addresses it, I think I can comfortably, in my own decision, my own personal belief, think that she is doing this for personal benefits, which could allegedly be charity fraud. And the fact she's not coming out and addressing it makes me think it even more. Is Colleen Ballinger committing charity fraud and abusing tax? Maybe. Maybe. Her lawyer's been quick to shut down the green face thing. Why has he not touched this yet? I really don't know. I don't know. I would love for them to address it. Hopefully they will. Okay.